What up, everybody? Hello and welcome to the Football Rig here, where we discuss everything related to the Premier League and specifically about Arsenal Football Club. And this is where I'm going to talk about in the show the Arsenal News Drilldown. We're going to dig deep into the Arsenal football, what's happening in the club in terms of injuries and some other news as well, and some other topics like miscellaneous topics. And I love this show because, you know, I get to talk about Arsenal beside the football, of course. And I'm not going to talk about the game, what happened yesterday and the results, because I'm going to leave that for the AAR show tomorrow. The reason why I'm not doing it today is because still we have Man United game to watch tonight, I believe. Let me just check that quickly. I think it's going to be tonight. I have that in my calendar. So for me to watch that Man United game. But overall, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all, having a lovely day so far. If we draw to Villa, City will be on us, man. Yeah, man. We cannot afford to drop points against Villa, man. But I'll leave this topic to tomorrow, tropical, when we're talking about the AR. Today, we're going to talk about some other news that is going around in Arsenal Football Club. And I'm going to start right away with the injury record that we have in current situation, you know. So the breaking news that we have is about, first of all, I'm going to talk about Saliba. So according to the press conference that I watched from Mikel Arteta, he's been asked about William Saliba, and he said it's a matter of days. And we thought there would be a chance for us to see Saliba playing against Brentford, but he was not even in the bench. So most likely we'll see him back on against Aston Villa. And that's some good news, to be honest, because on the other hand, we lost Mosquera. And God knows for how long we lost Mosquera. And this is not really looking good for Arsenal Football Club, especially when it comes to the defensive options that we have. So Saliba, for me, he's really important as a player, as one of the leaders on the pitch. He's been with us since the beginning. He's been with Arsenal football since 2022, 2023. That's the first season we actually competed for the league. So to have such a player with a high level and a high caliber is important for us, especially when, like Tropical said, he's a bit concerned that we're going to go to Villa. I mean, we might draw to Villa. So that kind of I would say confidence is kind of down. I don't know what kind of doubts is creeping in to some Arsenal fans. But Villa, and I understand why, because Villa is in form, so that's why we need such players like Saliba. So hopefully he's back, right? So that's the first piece of news that we have from William Saliba. So according to Arteta, it's a matter of days. So the matter of days means maximum 1 week. So it's been 1 week since this press conference. So I believe that he will be back as soon as possible. And this is the follow-up news. Unfortunately, we lost Gabriel. This is what Arteta is saying. We lost Gabriel, and I quote, then we lost Saliba, and now Mosquera has also suffered an injury, and God knows for how long. We don't know the details. We're waiting for the medicals examination and all of that and further testing to actually know the severity of the injury of Mosquera. And I quote, continuing the what Arteta said, we have to wait and see. It's probably part of the knee or ankle. We don't know. He could not really tell us exactly how it was, but he wasn't able to continue. So that's a bummer for Arsenal, because Mosquera has been a really good player for Arsenal so far, barring the Newcastle game. So we need to, we need every single player, man. And I hope Mosquera gets well soon and recovers soon enough, because we genuinely need every single player to be ready, especially in the upcoming period where the games are really congested and there's a lot of games that are happening. So that's regarding the Mosquera follow-up. And this is why it's kind of crucial for Saliba to be back because of this. This is unfortunate. Nobody plans for this, such kind of events, unfortunate incidents that happens on the pitch, but it is what it is. Mosquera out, and we've seen who stepped up at the end of the day was Timber. Yorian Timber is the one who stepped up in the Brentford game and played as a center back, but is that sustainable in the long run? I don't believe so, even though White had a excellent game. But can we depend on Timber as a center back? that's really wouldn't be my first choice or my favorite choice, because Timber has been thriving in the right back, and I think he's been so consistent in that it would be haram to drop him from the right back, even though that Ben White had an excellent game versus Brentford. So keeping on the same topic of the injuries, the other piece of news about that, and we're all worried about our general Declan Rice. So Arteta said Declan Rice had to come off. He can walk, he cannot play. He's played a lot of minutes, but as well when. And this is the part where I'm irritated by Arteta, right? So bear with me for a second here. Let me just read it for you guys, and then I can comment about it. He said, now we play Wednesday night and we have to play Saturday morning. If they can please give us a little bit more time to recover, that would be great. I mean, hearing this from Arteta, it sounds like he's whining. And honestly speaking, that is up to you how you rotate the players. I mean, I understand you're not going to be able to find a player on the bench with Rice's level. 100%. Nobody's saying that you have such a player on the bench. But this is where your in-game management in terms of personnel and minutes as well, how you manage the players and the amount of minutes. Rice has been playing probably every single game so far for Arsenal Football Club. Either it's a Champions League or the Premier League. He's been always playing, and this is where you need to wake up, Arteta, and start resting the guy when you think that we secure the game, when you think maybe Norgard can step up. You can maybe also think about Skelly playing in that position, since you have Calafiori on the left back. So there are options for you to rest Rice. However, you choose not to. And that tells me that you don't want to rest Rice because you are really genuinely afraid that you will lose a game. And I understand that. You want to always win every game, but at the same time, you cannot run down your players to the ground in such a way, and then this will happen. And this is becoming something frequent in Arsenal Football Club. We've seen it with Saka, and now we're seeing it with Rice. And that's normal because the amount of minutes and the amount of energy these players are exuberating with Arteta is enormous. And he needs to chill out a bit. He needs to take it easy. He needs to rotate the player. I don't know about what do you think, guys, but for me, I think Arteta needs to trust his bench more. That's my genuine thought about it, that Arteta needs to genuinely think about rotating the player more often. I know that he's going to get a stick if we lose points because he would rotate the players, but you must do it. At a certain point in time, you must do it to keep your players always fit, right? So that's all about Rice as well. We have another piece that is said here with Rice. It says here, Declan Rice has confirmed to Sky Sport that he's fine and ready to play this weekend. But for me, what happened in the Brentford game that he had to be subbed off, that's like a wake-up call. I say, listen, hey, I'm playing a lot of minutes, yo. Chill out. And of course, Declan Rice is not going to come out and say, I'm playing a lot of minutes and the manager is putting a lot of pressure on me. No professional player would ever say that out loud or out on the press or social media. Obviously, he would say he's fine. Obviously, he would say, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to support my team. That is the expected, typical cliche answer from any professional footballer. And this is the answer what we got from Rice, that he's fine. But doesn't mean that you have to keep playing him. Consider rotating him, Mikel Arteta. I know the Aston Villa game is going to be tough, but the upcoming games that is kind of winnable, please do rest him because we need this guy. We need this guy to be fit. So if you can find opportunities, to rotate players, please do. You have Norgard. And I mentioned we can play also Skelly. I've never seen Skelly play in the midfield in the Arsenal first team, but you got to try sometimes. You got to do that. How did we find out that Kimmich is a really good midfielder? Without trying him. And then Bayern München started really playing him in the center mid. So think about that. think about that, because in the long run, you would manage your players better and better, and that's what you really need to do. That's what you really need to do, in my opinion. However, nevertheless, let me just, I want to do something quickly. I want you guys to tell me, what do you guys think? Do you think we should rotate Rice? Do you think we should play another player like Norgard? I mean, we bought Norgard for a reason, to fill. I mean, it's like a filler buster for me. He's just there to play the minutes that we don't have our players or such things. So why not do it, man? Why not doing it? I don't understand why Arteta is not trusting those players, because Norgard is an experienced Premier League player. He's been the captain of Brentford, so he is within the level to play in the Premier League games. He understands the league very well. He doesn't need time to adapt to the Premier League. So play him. It's not like I'm not saying Norgard is better than Rice. Obviously not. He's not even lacing his boots. But what I'm saying is, you have to manage the minutes of the player as much as possible. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You genuinely need to manage the player's fitness. Big up to yourself. What up, my G? Hope you're well. So think about that, Arteta, please, before we hit, a devastating period of time. Guys, hit the like button, please. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And that is all from me regarding the injuries of the player. I want your thoughts. I want your opinion. Do you think Arteta needs to manage the squad better or not? Tell me about it. But we'll move on to another topic. And here we go from Brizio, that we signed very, very talented players. And these are the two talented Ecuadorian players that will officially join Arsenal Football Club in 2027. Oh, man. Well, Boreg, tell me this. Do you feel this team is better than 23? If it's better, why? Yeah, Man City PTSD. If not, then go back to comparing if this Man City. Wait, Charles. Wait a second, Charles. Let me read this clearly. You put a lot of statements there. Tell me this. Do you feel this team is better than 23-24 season? Yes, I do. If it is better, why the Manchester City PTSD? That's normal to have such a reaction after 3 times in a row they've been winning the league and we're getting second. So I think the reaction of having a PTSD against City is quite normal for any Arsenal fan. If not, then go back to comparing if this Man City to 2023, 2024 Manchester City, and understand the context. I get it. I understand what you're saying, Charles. I understand that Manchester City are not within the levels that they were before. They don't have the Gundogans, the KDBs, and honestly speaking, you're not wrong. There's some truth to what you said. However, I rate Guardiola highly, personally. I don't know what you think about Pep Guardiola, but I think Pep Guardiola is a genius. So, and not only that, if let's say we are within the 3-5 points gap between us and Manchester City, by the time we hit January, Charles, I think Manchester City are gonna sign a lot of players in January, and we've seen that happening with City. They usually drop 100-200 mil in January, where Arsenal don't really spend in January. And I think if they do spend, probably they're gonna reinforce and bring some good players, and maybe we will see a different Manchester City with Pep Guardiola. So that's why I wanted to build up that kind of gap between us. Let's say, like that we have against Chelsea now, which is 9 points. So that is a bit comfortable for me to say, okay, we are 9 points. That means we have to lose 3 games before they catch up with us. So that's why the PTSD is always going to be there, personally for me at least, because I know that I suffered from Manchester City for the past 3 seasons. I'd like to know whether the signing of the twins are a result of new scout we brought from Napoli. I mentioned about that guy, Michele, whatever his name is. He's going to work under Arteta, but in a very, I would say, a high level of scouting. And these guys are really doing well so far. So this is an example. So back to the topic here in hand, before I respond to Charles. The twins, Edwin Quintero and Holliger Quintero, both complete their moves to Arsenal. So what do I know about these players? They're coming from a team that has been generating really good talents recently, the likes of Hincapié, the likes of Caicedo. So we are securing a future, the future for Arsenal, if they do genuinely turn out to be elite and talents. So I like that we are going for such talents and we are securing them so early before, you know, the market inflates or the price tag inflates to crazy numbers later on. And one of them is a left-footed who plays in the right wing, and the other one is a right-footed who plays as a central attacking midfield. So I think, you know, having those kind of talents, it's really, really good. And I hope they turn out to be good, because by the time they hit 18, they might, you know, like we can see Estivao, he's almost, you know, a first choice for Chelsea in the right wing there. And that's, of course, due to Palmer's injury and all that stuff. But still, Estivao has been delivering in a high level. I feel Pep is great, no doubt about it, but not the greatest. Anyways, that's a different debate. If Pep is rated, then why not rate Mikel and his ability to learn from what happened in the past? I hope that's the case, Charles. I'll be honest. But like they say, the proof is in the pudding. We haven't seen it yet, right? We haven't seen Mikel Arteta win the league. So for me, until, you know, proven otherwise, I'm gonna have my reservations. But on the other hand, Pep has been winning, so that's my response to your comment right here. He has won against team who he lost last season. Doesn't that show something? It does show something, and I'm happy with those kind of wins. I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy against the Fulham, against all these teams that we usually drop points. I'm happy to see that we improved, and I'm not really concerned about the top 6 results as much as I'm concerned about the mid-table to lower ranking teams in the Premier League, because I think those are the teams that we need to focus on to win the league. Because again and again, City has proven that winning against the top 6 team is not always, you know, what helps you win the league. It's actually the consistency that you win against the team that you are favorites to win against. So yeah, Charles, individual results mean nothing if there's no trophy to show for it at the end, bro. I agree with this G, man. The name is Butts. I'll call you Butts. So I agree with you, man. I agree. At the end of the day, what is tangible? You got to find something tangible to compare and refer back to, which is a trophy. That's the metric of success in football or in any sport, in my opinion. So yeah, there is improvement from last season. His in-game management has improved massively. Arteta, I'm gonna give him that, but I hope he continues. And at the end, I want him to see to you know, get a trophy, and I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be the first guy to celebrate him, and I'm not against. You know, and I'm not the type of guy who I want to die in a hell, you know, with my opinion. If I think that Arteta is not the guy, because, you know, I'm kind of fed up with the trophy drought, and that's the reason, and that's the only reason why. But I would love to be wrong, and Arteta proves me wrong and win the league. That's all I'm saying. As I mentioned, sub chat, the academy, the twins, there was a Premier Youth setup. Someone in Capia Caicedo were, and yes, and I think, you know what, there has been a hype around what you call it, Venezuela, Ecuadorian players. I've seen also Bayern Munchen signed a 17-year-old. I don't know what's his name, but I mean, Ecuador has been, you know, giving a lot of talents lately. So let's hope we hit the jackpot right here. If individual results don't mean anything, then daily streams football monetization means nothing. Let's all talk about it in April only, right? Hey, different context. I mean, I don't get what that has to do with what I'm saying, but what I believe, okay, if you play very well, you need to keep playing very well until, you know, December. I mean, until April, until May, because if you're playing shit at the beginning and you're not winning and you're not getting points, so 100% you're not going to win the league by April or May. So what matters is the consistency. and under extreme pressure. What I mean by pressure is when you go later on, let's say in the UCL, to the knockout stages, to the semifinals, to all of those, a really pressured atmosphere, big games against big teams, and you win. That's what really going to count. I mean, it's too good to build towards that, right? It's very good to have that kind of steady growth and steady momentum until you deliver at the end of the day, because it doesn't happen with a snap. It really, you need to build up upon something. So I think winning at the beginning of the league, getting the points as much as possible is important, and it's a huge factor on why you win. Where were you in 22-23, Charles? Do you remember how that season started and finished? Yes, that's what I'm saying. We have to keep on, the same momentum until the end. I don't want to reach to a certain point and then we just fumble, and that's the irritating part. Is when we reach to the final or something and you lose. Trust me, that hurts. That hits. That's like a dagger. That's a dagger to the heart. That you did all of that hard work, and at the end, you don't get over the line. It hurts. It hurts, bro. I still remember the 06 final versus Barca, but you guys made me divert away from the topics in hand, but it's fine. It's enriching, I would say, talk and topics that you guys are debating here. But anyhow, let's continue. Let's carry on. Before I move on to the player of the month, I would want to talk about some players that we might sign and also some players that we might sell, right? We have a piece of news here that says Palmeiras, or the Brazilian team who Gabriel Jesus used to play with before joining Manchester City, are looking to sign Gabriel Jesus. And honestly speaking, I mean, the Brazilian forward is seeking consistent game and pushes to secure a place at the next World Cup. And they might initiate it with a loan, with a I would say, with an optional purchase or something like that. But for me, I want Gabriel Jesus to play, and for two reasons. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be quite objective about this. Is the reason why I want Gabriel Jesus to play is either he's gonna step up and we're gonna see a different Gabriel Jesus, a level up Jesus, or we're gonna give him the minutes so that we can recoup some of the money we spent on him, because the guy is nicking a living. I'm gonna be honest, 200 and some plus £1,000 a week is a lot. Let's see what Charles is saying here. Nothing against you or the doctor in the chat, but everyone remembers everything related to Arsenal Football Club, as we are fans here. The point was, where are we today on December 4th, 2025 versus 23-24 season earlier? You tell me, Charles, where were we? And I think we're in a better position. And again, what matters is we continue delivering in the same way, Charles. You don't win leagues on December. You don't win leagues in November. So what you win the leagues when the league is over. So let's wait until the league is over, all the fixtures are played, and then we're going to talk about where we are. Yeah, Charles, bro, we reference years past because we've seen this story time and again. Top of the league in December, no league title to show for it. That's why this skepticism and the patience. I agree with the doc here. But anyways, let's continue. So Gabriel Jesus, I don't know what you think about the player, guys, but for me, I think his salary is too high, and I have nothing against the guy. It's nothing personal or anything, but I think he can make room for other talents to join Arsenal and free up a bit of funds. And I want him to play for two reasons. If he steps up, that's good for us. If he doesn't, at least we give him the minutes so other teams that can come and sign him and get him out of our books. And in other news, I'll stay within the transfer news, and this has been talked about a lot on Twitter that I've seen, and this is not the first time that we've seen, and you probably guys also saw these type of news. Yildiz, Arsenal are looking to get ahead in the race to sign Yildiz, right? His salary request is 6 to 7 million euros. So is that something possible? Yes, it is. And is he the type of player that Arsenal wants to sign? Maybe. But the question remains, would you want to sign Yildiz, or would you want to sign Rodrigo or Semenyo? There are some options when it comes to the wingers currently, especially that Madrid is not signing, signing not playing with Rodrigo, and he's not getting minutes there. So I'm assuming that he's available. And on the other hand, I would say Yildiz is also a good player. And also the third option that I mentioned is Semenyo. So there are some options for me. Some options are available, and this needs to be genuinely studied by the scouting team, by Berta, to have the best option. And honestly speaking, I'm gonna trust Berta on this. Maybe I would prefer a certain player, but due to the experience and due to the success that he had in Atletico Madrid, especially when it comes to the attacking players, because he's the guy who brought Diego Costa, he's the guy who brought in the league. So I'm going to trust Berta to pick the right option for Arsenal Football Club. Let's see what the doc says. Personally, I'm getting Jesus leave for free. This manager was giddy to get rid of Oba and Ozil, both of whom would walk into the first team today. Jesus on 265k a week. Oh my God, that really hurts. Just reading that number hurts. I just swear, man. Gabby Jesus can go if we bring in attacker in January as the season stands, considering how we are. We'll be very happy if he goes and Yildiz, the best under 21 attacker, barring Lamal, comes in. I agree, Charles. I mean, I rate Yildiz a lot, but again, I'm going to trust Berta in this to have the best option, because I think Semenyo is also interested to move to Arsenal. I also think Rodrigo personally is more sound as an option for me. Personally, if you ask me, I want Rodrigo. That would be my personal choice, is Rodrigo. And the reason why, coming from an elite team like Real Madrid, the best team in the whole world, and very, very talented player, very disciplined, good attitude, and I think he would fit us like a glove. Also, his versatility, he can play on the left wing, right wing, and also central forward areas if you want. So personally, I would go for Rodrigo, but that's my personal choice. But again, I'm gonna reiterate the message. I think Berta would make the right choice. If he finds both are available, he would do what's best for the club. But guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's continue. Yildiz easy. I'm staying away from Rodrigo and Vini. Man, why would you stay away from Rodrigo? Well, Vini, I understand. Believe me, I would rather pick Rodrigo over Vini, and not because Vini is Rodrigo is better than Vini. Obviously not. But for me, I have serious issues with his attitude and his EQ. His EQ is very, very low. Very, very low. He's emotionally always distressed. He cannot control his emotion. He throws tantrums like a 5-year-old child, and he keeps bitching about stuff. And I don't like that kind of behavior, to be honest, from a professional footballer. Both are so overrated, so I don't see the same hunger in Rodrigo that Alexis had, being in Messi's shadow. He could be our Alexis Sanchez, Doc. I mean, I genuinely think that he can. By the way, I want to know your name, because I'm not going to call you Butts, bro. So tell me your name. So for me, I think he would be our Alexis Sanchez. I swear. Do you think Rodrigo is hungry enough to go up a level? Yes. Yes. Because he's been in the shadows of Mbappe and Vini Jr. and he's been delivering double digits. Still delivering double digits in the La Liga. I mean, barring last season and this season, but he's been so good. You've watched him in the UCL, big moments, a player with big moments. So why not? Why not? He can be our main guy, our superstar. I have no doubt in my mind that he can be that. He has all the resources and the talent, the potential to do it. And he's young as well. He's not old. He's like 24. What is his age? Hold on. Let me just pull it out quickly so I'm not spitting nonsense. Rodrigo. So he's 24. Bro, he's 24. Come on. I think he's a good player. I'd bet on a younger talent than Rodrigo. Rodrigo will be Jesus package as well as Declan money. That's a big outlay just for January. No, Charles. I think if he submits a transfer request, or even now, we're seeing that Xabi Alonso is not really considering him in any plans of his. So I think he's going to leave for 70, 80 million euro. So I think it's very, very feasible to get a player of his caliber. Very feasible for Arsenal Football Club. I don't see why not. I 100% don't see why not. I disagree that he's going to cost us. Maybe in the salary wise. Yes, salary, he might demand some hefty amount. But if you're going to get rid of Jesus, give him the same amount. If you're paying Jesus £265,000 a week, then I would consider, giving it to him with a slight increase, maybe reaching almost 300. Because, the player is genuinely talented. I don't know about you guys, but I like the player. I like Rodrigo. I swear, I like Rodrigo. It's nothing against the other guys, but I genuinely like Rodrigo. But yeah, that's regarding the transfer news and what's going on right now. And the last topic I want to talk about is the player of the month. The player of the month. These are the nominees for November. We have Harvey Barnes. We have Dewsbury Halls, Doku. We have Fernandez, Gibbs White, Reece James, Declan Rice, and Igor Thiago. So I want in the chat, tell me who is your player of the month. I'm gonna wait for your comments before I tell you my opinion. That's fair. I'm thinking he's won everything. May not be as hungry. I think he's a good, but not to the level he's rated at the first thought. Reminds me of Robinho at City. Man, even Robinho at City was on fire, bro. Was on fire. He was on fire. Come on, man. I wish we had Robinho, man. What you mean, man? Robinho, when he first joined back in 2008, I think, was it 2008 or 2009? I can't remember the year, but he was a very talented guy. So, guys, tell me your thoughts about the player of the month. Who would you nominate for the player of the month? I know the Arsenal fans, 99% would say Declan Rice, 100%. But I want your genuine opinion. Be unbiased about it. So I'll give you like 10, 20 seconds to tell me, guys, while I'm vaping my shit. Come on. Who should win the player of the month for November? You're not going to say it? I'm going to say it. It's Dr. Seymour Butts, my bro. Chief Arsenal proctologist. Man. But Doc is cool. All right, I'm going to call you Doc. Hey, Doc, what's up, Doc? Remind me of Bugs Bunny, What's up, Doc? But yeah, big up to you, Doc, and welcome to the channel, bro. But yeah, guys, player of the month. Look, as an Arsenal fan, I'm always going to go for the general. I call this guy the general, Declan Rice. Declan Rice for me all day long. No chance for me to choose anybody else except Declan Rice. The guy has been so consistent with Arsenal, even though he's not putting a GA for me. The guy is just, he tips the midfield to your favor massively when he's there. Defensively, offensively, he's overall an excellent player. And that's why Manchester City wanted him, but he rejected City. And he wanted to play for Arsenal Football Club. And that says a lot, for a player to reject a successful Manchester City and choosing Arsenal Football Club. I really, really respect the guy, man. I vaguely recall Robinho often injured at City and being underwhelming. Why he got binned off of to AC Milan? Maybe I'm remembering incorrect. Well, maybe, but I can't remember really much about Robinho, man. Player of the month. Let's see what Charles has to say about it. Man, I don't care. For Declan, it's a Ballon d'Or loading. Oh la la. Oh la la. Look at this. Charles is showing serious chest right here, man. He is beyond the player of the month November. Among the rest, Doku is a fair shout. Hal is also a fair shout. Wow. Wow, Charles just dropped a bomba right there. Damn, Charles. Big up to you, man. Big up to you. I'd say Rice, he's been instrumental. We haven't had a DM like him since Gilberto and Vieira. I agree. I agree. Can't lie, I agree. But I would say also, I don't know what you think, guys, but I think also Reece James has been good. Honestly, Reece James has been good, man. I like the way, I mean, he's a right back. Also, when he plays in the midfield, if you guys watched him against Arsenal, 10 men, he played, I mean, extraordinary. He was extraordinary. If we win anything this year, it'll be because of Rice. 100%. Rice is a big factor. Nobody's denying the importance of Rice. He's my general. He is, personally, I consider him the leader. I want him to be our captain, if I'm being frank with you guys. I don't want Odegaard as our captain. Not that I don't rate Odegaard as a player, but as a leader, I think Declan Rice is a great leader. I mean, for you to win with West Ham a European trophy, because you know it's West Ham. With all the respect to West Ham, you don't expect them to win anything, but for you to do that with West Ham as a captain, man, you gotta have the cojones. The cojones. You know, every time the people see you, they just, you know, give you the salute. And for me, that's Declan Rice. Every time he makes a tackle, every time he intercepts the passes and intercepts the ball, he is just extraordinary. He got to work a little bit on the offensive side. I'll be honest. A couple of times I've seen him, you know, go. He does everything. He dribbles. He runs across players and everything. That's the small part. Is the shooting or the finishing that he needs to work on. I think he would be just extraordinary. You don't have to say it, but I'm happy to sell Odegaard next summer. Oh, well, what's going on here? I'm hearing bombas from Arsenal fans. What the f, man? One guy's saying Ballon d'Or winner, the other guy's saying sell Odegaard. We've had such a luxury of attacking mids at the Emirates. He ain't one of them. I mean, what do you say to that? I'm hearing, look, man, if we buy somebody who's better than Odegaard, then I understand your statement and stance, Doc. But doing it right now, I don't know. I think it seems like a little bit over the top, don't you think? I think you're being so hasty with that kind of statement, Doc. Take it easy, bro. Because if you're gonna sell somebody like Odegaard, who's worth, I don't know, let's say 80 million or 70 million, something like that, then obviously you need somebody to replace him first before you sell him. You cannot sell and just you know that you will cash in. We're not in a position currently as Arsenal Football Club that we're looking to cash in. It's good to cash in, obviously. It's always good to have money. But the aim here is not to generate revenue. The aim here is to win. Look at this. A counterattack from Khadr. He's saying injury-free Odegaard is the best Arsenal player. Doc, you want to talk to this guy, Doc? Look, I'm neither with Khadr and I'm neither with Doc right here. I'm in between. I'm in the middle. You know, I'm serious. I'm in the middle. Like, I don't rate him so highly, and I don't think he's a shit player either. But I think, you know, let me just remove this away. I think personally that Odegaard is a good player because we've seen what he can do. We've seen what he can do. Odegaard can offer a lot for Arsenal. 15 goals that I remember that season. Or some, was it 15 goals without penalties? So it's very good numbers for a midfield. I think he has a lot of creativity in him, but sometimes he takes a little bit of extra steps that kind of kills the game. And I love the 1-2, the fast passing balls type of games. But yeah, I won't sell Martin Odegaard. Correct? If it is a setup, else it's just a flashy statement. Martin Odegaard has been pivotal for Norway qualifiers and should be for us in season's second half as well. If he stays fit, I think he can play a key role. I agree with you, Charles, and that's why I'm in between these two gentlemen, Khadr and Doc, where one of them rates Odegaard highly and the other one says sell him this summer. So I'm in between. I think that he can play a role because and this is the he's been here for this long and has only one good season, but here's the thing, Doc. Here's the thing. I think overall, and this is something I would say is kind of an uncomfortable conversation, is Eberechi Eze. Honestly speaking, I feel underwhelmed so far with Eberechi Eze, barring the Tottenham Hotspur game. Obviously, he had a hat trick there. He was the best player, but Eze, I thought he would have done better, if I'm being honest. And I thought, you know what, this guy might be the guy who replaces Odegaard. But unfortunately, I haven't seen enough from Eze to say, okay, this is the guy we're going to rally behind as our number 10. In the same manner, or at the same time, Nwaneri is not giving the minutes. And I'm genuinely concerned about his development under Arteta as a number 10. Because of sometimes his favoritism, he wants to play Odegaard all the time. He's his captain. I mean, he's chosen to be the captain, so I understand why he would always play Odegaard. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't think we have the replacement yet for Odegaard for whatever reason. I mean, this is what I think the reasons are. However, I am not sure about the reasons why Eze has not been performing to the expectation, let's say. I mean, the word expectation is a relative term. So for me, I thought Eze is going to deliver very highly, but unfortunately, I haven't seen that so far, except for one game, the Tottenham game, right? And Nwaneri's development has been underwhelming so far. I haven't seen Nwaneri for quite some time. He's not getting the minutes, so it's very hard for a player to develop if he's not getting minutes. He's saying here, I'm personally not going to rate Odegaard when I've seen Cesc, Halep, come on, Halep better than Odegaard. Man, what's going on here? Nasri, Arshavin, Santi, Ozil. Okay, these names I agree with you, but Halep, it's a weird shout. I would like him to focus more on goal scoring than assisting. I think he should focus on both. If you get the opportunity to create, then do that. If you get an opportunity to score, then score. If Eze had license to roam like Calafiori, he'd look a lot better. This manager picks and chooses which player he wants to get the best out of, i.e. Moreno. Agenda. You know, for Mikel Merino, I think there's something going on between Mikel Merino and Arteta, if I'm being honest. Halep was so classy, so technically gifted. Forgot Rosicky too. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, look, I agree with all the names you mentioned. Rosicky, Arshavin, Samir Nasri, Fabregas, but I don't see Halep to be better than our Odegaard. Come on, man. I wouldn't go that far. He had one good season, by the way. And then he went to Barca and flopped. So, anyways, his scoring capability is still there. I'd want him to feed Gyökeres as he has more goal scoring knack. I think you're right, Charles. I cannot disagree with that statement. Yes, Eze is more direct than Odegaard, and this is where Odegaard needs to improve, is to find in him the confidence to start shooting, because we've seen Odegaard score, really, really good goals against Premier League teams, and I don't know what happened to him that he's not doing it anymore. And also, progressive passes has been really down, in my opinion, lately for Odegaard. I don't care about the accuracy of the passing as much as the progression of it, And I hate when we go sideways all the time. I mean, it's okay if we lose the ball. If you're trying to pass the ball inside the box to Gyökeres, to I don't know, Martinelli, to Saka, whoever is making that run, and you miss it, that's fine as long as you attempt to do it. As long as you attempt to do it, and that's really important that you have that kind of creativity, you have the touch, and you know what it takes, then do it. He has a very good, I would say, balance when it comes to passing of the ball. But guys, hit the like button. We're still, still discussing matters about Arsenal. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is majorly an Arsenal channel, but we do cover other Premier League matters. Tomorrow we're gonna have the after action review. The reason why normally I do it on Thursdays. However, United are gonna play tonight, and that's why it's gonna be done tomorrow. The disrespect to Odegaard is said though. Yes, I think Doc was, a bit aggressive when he said sell him. I mean, look, like I said, if we're upgrading, I don't mind. I 100% don't mind. If you're telling me we're buying a better player, bid him for all I care. That's what I would say. It's football, it's business, it's subjective, and you want to win. So if you can upgrade, do so. I don't want to get attached to any player. Yes, we as fans emotionally get attached. We love our players. We support our players. That is fine. But it does not contradict with the fact that you can always upgrade. And every player is here for a certain period of time, and eventually he will leave, right? So no emotions attached. You should look at it objectively. You should think of what's best for Arsenal Football Club and not for Odegaard and not for X or Y or Z. Nah, there's far and wide better tens around the last few years. Odegaard had one good season over how many now? 5. Same emotional sentiment had occurred with Xhaka, one good season over 7. No, I would disagree with you there, Doc. I think he had, 2 or 3 good seasons, not one only. Decent squad depth where everyone is performing is what we have lacked for decades. Yeah. No, I think we also struggled when it comes to squad depth as well. Aside of lacking, and aside of dropping off and dipping in form, I think also squad depth played a key role in many seasons. I mean, remember the season where we lost, where Saliba was injured, and we had to play Rob Holding? Wasn't that squad depth? That's for me was a squad depth. A lot of even rival fans said it. I mean, don't get it. I'm not making excuses for my club or anything, but it was true that Saliba was up here and Holding is down here. The levels are massive, man. The difference is insane. Holding and Saliba. Oh my god. I think you gotta rewatch him, my bro. He was gravy. Look, I didn't say he was a bad player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, bro. I watched him. I remember him, but I don't remember he was that great, and he was good. He was good. And that's why Barca came and got him from Arsenal. But what I'm saying is, doing it for one season is not doing it for a couple of seasons, right? The consistency should help to say, you know what, the player has been performing in a high level for quite some time, rather than just one season or half a season or a couple of games. So that's also important. That's also important. But overall, where do you think, guys, Arsenal? Or let me ask you this: what do you think Arsenal will get this season? Do you think we're gonna win the Premier League? Do you think we're gonna win the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the UCL? What is your thoughts? I just want to have a genuine feeling of certain Arsenal fans. A sample of the Arsenal fans that we have here in the chat. What do you guys think we're gonna win? this season. I wanna see where you're at. You know, I had a very, I would say, ballsy, statement, and I was clipped for it. So I want to see what you guys think. Do you think we can win more than one trophy? Do you think we can, for the first time in our history, go for the UCL? Do you think the Premier League is secured? We are favorites with City lurking behind us. I want to have a feeling of what you guys think. Having games like the Chelsea game really put me back into. If I say, nah, man, come on, man, this is a free space. Nobody will call you that. I promise you. Even if you tell me here we're gonna win the quadruple, that's fine. That's your opinion. You think we are that good, or you think we're just gonna win an FA Cup, that's also fine. I understand. But listen, if you tell me something, you need to back up why you think that. You just don't just throw it like that, But you gotta back up what you're saying. You tell me, okay, we're only gonna win this, and we're not gonna win the rest because of 1, 2, 3 or ABC. So we can have a conversation back and forth. It's not a one-way talk. It's kind of interactive, and I would like to hear from Arsenal fans specifically why they think that. Do they have the confidence? Do you think we're lacking in certain areas? Do you think the coach is not good enough? Do you think we're gonna fumble like every time? I mean, look, personally for me, 20 which year now? 26. Let's say it's 26. Man, it's been 22 years we haven't won the league, so it's completely understandable for certain Arsenal fans to feel the way they feel because it's been 2 decades without a Premier League. So there's no negativity or being toxic. The people like Lee Gunner or the people like North London, North Side, and all these people. I understand their frustration. I genuinely understand their frustration to see your club not winning for 2 decades, and we because when we moved from the Highbury to the Emirates Stadium, we've been told that we will start competing in a very high level with the elite teams of Europe. And unfortunately, we haven't seen that. We've been a joke for the past 15 years, I would say. And we've seen other clubs like Chelsea, like Manchester City, winning. So it is frustrating for Arsenal fans in general to feel that way. And it's fine, especially I would say the old generations. Like I don't know if I consider myself an old generation. I've been supporting Arsenal Football Club since the year 2000. So it's been 26 years now that I'm supporting club. Quarter of a century that I'm supporting this club. And I genuinely want us to win stuff. And that's the main thing. And when I go and flame and be really upset about Arteta or about certain games, because I want what's best for my team. Nothing more, nothing less. I mean, Saliba and Rice, are they back? Gaza, I think they will be back. According to the press conference, maybe you were not here when I covered that segment. What Arteta said that, and it was a couple of days ago. It was prior to the Brentford game, so it was 2-3 days ago. He said it's a matter of days with Saliba. And also Trossard, by the way. We didn't talk about Trossard, guys. Trossard has been outstanding for Arsenal. And he's going to be back also in a couple of days. So I'm assuming they will be available against Villa. Rice, according to what we are seeing in the social media, they are saying he's fine, but I'm starting to get worried about him because we generally don't have a replacement for Rice, guys. So we need to watch out for that, and we need to give him the rest that he needs. The doctors say, I think we win fuck all again. Oh my god, man. I think Mikel Arteta could have the world's best XI over the last 20 years, and he'd find a way to muck it up. He reminds me of an extension of Wenger's years after Cesc left. No wonder he said what he said, and he said, "I'm gonna think of you toxic." But it's fine. It's your opinion, and a lot of people, by the way, share your opinion. But let's see. I'd love to be proven wrong, as I say every year, but as long as he's at the helm, he'll be spinning our wheels. Look, at a certain point last year, I felt what you felt, Doc. I thought, I was like, okay, this guy, if you give him Messi, Ronaldo, and all the top players in the world, he would not deliver. I totally agree with you, if you asked me back then. Now what I'm seeing, we signed 8 players, so the squad depth has improved massively. And on the other hand, also, we are, personally, this is what I think, okay? This is not something that the fans are saying or anything. This is what Sammy thinks, right? His in-game, I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about Mikel Arteta, who's been a coach or a manager for 5 to 6 years, right? This is his first gig as a manager. So relatively, he's young when it comes to the coaching world. 6 years is not really long for him to learn. However, his first gig is big, which is with Arsenal Football Club. And yes, he made mistakes, massive mistakes. I can remember what the latest one that I remember that cost us something was against PSG last season in the semifinal, where I think he managed that game very, very poorly. However, this season, I'm seeing a massive improvement when it comes to in-game management, especially in-game management, that he's reading the game better. Like you said, and like we were discussing with Charles as well, that the proof is in the pudding. We have to wait until the end of the season. And I genuinely think this squad can win something. Now, the question is, what are we going to win? I think we can win the domestic trophies. I don't think we are ready to go for the UCL yet, even though we won just against Bayern München. But I think when it comes to the knockout stage, and you only play in the big stadiums and big stages, I think we're not ready to go and win for the UCL. But I think we will win the league. And I think we're going to win a cup as well. I think we're going to do a double, at least. And in some streams, I said, I genuinely feel we can do a domestic treble. Because it's not just because, Mikel Arteta is incredible and he is the Sir Alex Ferguson or the Arsene Wengers of this world. I'm not saying that. It's also, you have to consider the competition, right? Who are you competing against? A Liverpool who's sitting, I don't know, 11th, 12th, or wherever the hell they are right now. City, who has been so weak defensively. We've seen them against Leeds. They conceded 2 goals after taking the lead 2 goals. We've seen them against Fulham, where they were 5-1 and they conceded 3 goals. So it ended up 5-4. So the defense of City is not really that good. And that's why I'm saying, if things don't change from here to January, and I think they will drop points, where we're gonna gain points. And also Chelsea, who supposedly are contenders, according to some Chelsea fans, they also dropped points and they lost against Leeds. So their inconsistency is obvious. And I'm just stating the obvious. So they are 9 points away from us. So when you look at the competition, and I don't think City are the City who won the treble. That's scary City. You know what I mean? And Liverpool is, I don't think there's a comeback from where they are right now in terms of the Premier League. At least they can maybe salvage something, but what I cannot see it with Arne Slot. This guy is just awful. I don't know how the hell that he won the league last season, but he did nevertheless. So it's a combination of factors, and one of them is improvement of Arteta in the in-game management. I have to give him some credit in certain games, and I have to give him the stick in certain games, like the Chelsea game. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable to draw against 10-man Chelsea. Unacceptable by all means. I'm sorry. It's not acceptable for me. And in the same manner, or in the same way, in some games, he managed it very well. He did the right choice, the right substitution, and we won the game eventually. So you got to give him credit when credit is due, and you got to give him shit when shit is due, in the same way. But anyways, that's my thought, and that's why I think we're going to win something. However, we reached to the end of the show, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Genuinely, thank you very much for tuning in. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We have a lot to show. Watch-alongs, after-action reviews, Arsenal News Drilldown, where the community, we talk about mostly about Arsenal. And yeah, turn on the notification button so you guys know when we're gonna go live. And before we go, let's see what Doc's saying. Apart maybe 1-3 players, this team is good enough for the Prem UCL 2. It's a lack of consistency in the management that bothers me. Yeah, man, it is what it is. We gotta support him at least. Let's see at the end of the season if he doesn't deliver. Get the hell out of my club. My club! And guys, on that note, cheers and have a lovely, lovely evening wherever you are.